By way of background, there was a big issue a few years ago in California regarding the content of textbooks, and we ended up filing a lawsuit against the California Department of Education. Many of the slides you see today will be the content of textbooks, as well as some of the documents we obtained through subpoena. So let me first start off with dispelling a myth. With Hindus who are familiar with the process, they believe that some professors derailed the process, but that was not the case. The publishers panicked when the edits from Hindus were approved, and then you can see out there that the cost, they were saying that if they had to destroy the stock that they had already published, they were not already supposed to publish it before the process ended, but they had pre-published it. So there was a cost related to destroying the stock, so they started recruiting the professors. And here is a letter from an email from an editor of a publisher who actually said that if professors send an email, professors send a letter, that could be used as an excuse to keep the publisher's books. And that's what happened here. You can see that one Michael Witzel was actually recruited by them. And this was the stakes, $200 million market in California. So it went into a lawsuit, and during the lawsuit, I went to a church and asked them for their Sunday school curriculum. So this is what they had: the story of creation, Noah's Ark, Tower of Babel, and 10 Commandments. That's from the Old Testament. And of course, the virgin birth of Jesus, his miracles, the Sermon on the Mount, parables of Jesus, crucifixion and resurrection, and the Lord's Prayer. So let's look at what the textbooks have. This is what the California textbooks teach even today. God created the earth in 6 days and rested on the 7th day. And it's taught as a fact, not as a belief. It's a history textbook. They teach the Noah's Ark. They teach about the Tower of Babel. If you actually look at it, it tells you that it explains why there are many languages in the world. And you see the 10 Commandments here. This is an interesting one. This is from the teacher's edition of a book, which says teach and talk about it. It also says it's critical thinking. Why didn't the Egyptian army capture the Israelites? The answer, they followed, but the Lord made the wheels fall off their chariots. You can look at that. It's in the teacher's edition. And then in 1290 BC, Moses heard a voice. So that's got a date here. You hear a voice, and that's got a date. And they call us Hindu fundamentalists. Now here, this is from Oxford University Press. Jesus began to preach, teach, and work wonders in the villages. And there's an expert comment out there. Many wonder workers and healers traveled from place to place in those days. Now here's the Sermon on the Mount. It's all the blessed there, whatever, in parables of Jesus. This is the parable of the Good Samaritan. They also teach about the parable of lost sheep and the prodigal son. And here's the crucifixion. They announced Jesus had risen from the dead. Others reported seeing him as well. Note the language they use. And then they pointed to his empty tomb as proof. So this is in the history textbook again. And there's a date for Constantine, who saw a flaming cross in the sky with the words, "In the sign you will conquer." They have a date, AD 312. They have biography page for fictional characters. And there are 2 sections out there. That one actually talks of the magic birth of Jesus and him working wonders like walking on water and making loaves of bread. Here's a rhetorical statement on this page. It says, why did Christianity attract followers? And it says it appealed to the poor and gave them hope and comfort. And women could run churches from homes. This is an Orwellian claim. They make the claim here. And here's a brainwashing activity. Children are asked to match biblical verses with biblical artwork. That's what this page says. And 1 verse per student is what this one says. And here it actually says teach more about it. I don't know if you can look at it, but I can show those who are interested later. It says it instructs the teacher to talk more about the verses. Okay, let's look at the Hinduism chapter. The origin of Hinduism is based on Aryan invasion. It says there, you're a weaver, and how do you feel about being a weaver? And it's nothing got to do with our beliefs. For them, it's in the Bible. And you can see a pile of garbage. A Brahmin oppresses an untouchable. That's what this is. And there's a pyramid, it's a pyramidal caste system. That's Hinduism, that's what they teach. And here it says Hindu women were expected to leap into flames when her husband died. And contrast it with what they teach for Christianity, that women could run churches from homes. Here, a dedicated Hindu believes that people in higher caste are superior and they are supposed to be on top. And textbook also says it's unfair and cruel for Hinduism. So who opposed this? There were 17 California Democratic Party Assembly members. They were recruited by Indian communists. And of course, no surprise, the Democratic Party works with communists. And Romila Thapar was one of the people who was recruited by the publishers. So this is her academic methodology. I don't have time to go through 80 pages of material, but I have an opinion. That's what she essentially says here. She doesn't read it, but she has an opinion on it. She nominated experts, so she had a critical role to play. During the lawsuits, one of them was their expert, and we had fun demolishing him, Luis Gonzalez Riemann. He said that there's a 4th century document called Manusmriti, which has the caste system, and therefore the textbooks are right. But the textbooks dealt with 1500 BC, and he provided evidence from a 4th century document, according to his own argument. This is the counsel for the California Department of Education. You can see that she actually contacted a Pastor Rob and gave him the edits. And then there was a curriculum commissioner by name Charles Munger. He's the son of the billionaire Charlie Munger. So he was a Christian fanatic as well. And we uncovered an email from him to somebody by name Pete Somers. We asked him why he contacted this person, and here's what he said. I thought he'd be concerned about particular edits because Mr. Somers and I attend the same church. And here's a Harvard professor by name Michael Witzel. He sends an email to a fake Dalit group called Dalit Freedom Network, and when we went to deliver a subpoena, it turned out to be a church. So he tells them that, look at what Wikipedia says, he keeps deleting it. And then the next email, the director sends it, he says, we need to edit it ourselves. And this is what they need to edit, that it's described as a missions organization, and he kept deleting it. And there's one more point about DFN. The Melody Divine, their counsel who gave us the documents, she is an aide of a congressman by name Trent Franks. And the contracted expert of CDE for Christianity by name David Nystrom, he's from the North Park Theological Seminary. I'll show you a sentence from here. It says, God called him to North Park University to serve the Covenant Church. So that's the kind of expert they have for Christianity. It's not a real university, it's a Christian fundamentalist university. And there was a staff member who was asking for placing King David on a timeline. So you see that here. Did you ask Nystrom about dates he wants on King David timeline? That's a fictional character. So what did the judge say? There are rumors that we didn't win, but this is what the judge said. Contrary to defendant's protestations, we have no evidence. We provided evidence of hostility. We provided evidence of procedural irregularities. That's formatting requirements and arbitrary deadlines just for us. Our expert, Professor Bajpai, was fully vetted, but not the others. And even on the edits, we won on the edits as well. It said it's not just the procedure, but the edits, where the Jews asked for changing lowercase g in God to uppercase G, they got it. We asked for the same thing, and we were refused. The Jews asked for removing the lower status of Samaritans, and they got it. The caste system, we didn't get it. And again, Stanley Wolpert, he had a conflict of interest as he worked with the publishers. The Jews got the insider perspective. All other religions got the insider perspective, but not us. And we provided evidence of hostility, and they still continue to consult Witzel. And of course, this one says that Witzel's bias, they are responsible for it because they knew about it. And of course, it's the first lawsuit in the whole world on the topic. We got 25,000 pages of documents. Atheists are going to continue the fight. I work with them, so I know that, but Hindus get the credit for it, for calling attention to it. We exposed the complete churches, 5 churches, at least in it, and we got a positive ruling. So that's the final takeaway. So that's pretty much it.